Hello and welcome to this session introducing the DfE funded training for senior mental health leads. No doubt many of you will have received emails about training being offered to mental health leads and the attached funding, and it can feel quite overwhelming, as at last count there are more than 40 courses available to choose from. In this session we're hoping to answer some of the questions you may have about the funding, how to apply for it and how to use it to access training. So the funding is a blanket £1,200 per eligible setting. And to be an eligible setting, you must be a state-funded education setting in England. So all academies and maintained schools, special schools, alternative provision settings, sixth form colleges and further education colleges, as long as they are attended by students under the age of 18. So the funding is the same for everyone, £1,200. However, how you spend that funding is somewhat up to you as a setting. The priority for the funding is to access one or more of the DfE Quality Assured training courses for mental health leads. If you are not applying for one of these courses, then you cannot access the funding. The training is aimed at anyone in a school who has senior responsibility for mental health provision. This might be the head teacher, a deputy head, or other member of SLT who has been charged with this responsibility. Or it might be another member of staff who has been designated as the school's mental health lead. The costs of the training vary according to the type of training you want to access, but range from around £100 for a very short course covering the basics of one area of mental health to over £2,000 for advanced level training, including some training at postgraduate or master's level. So depending on which course you choose, there may be some money left over, which can be used in the following ways. So it can be used towards supply cover to allow the mental health lead to attend the training, and it can also be used to purchase further resources which will support the work of the school's mental health lead. So this might be books or other kind of resources you can use in school, or could be used for further training, and this secondary training does not have to come from the list of quality assured courses. It is worth bearing in mind that you can only access the funding if you're applying for one of the DfE's assured courses, and the funding cannot be used to buy in outside mental health support, such as therapists or counsellors. The funding is available via application windows throughout the year. The current window opened in the week of the 7th of February 2022 and can be accessed via the DfE website. There's currently no closing date stated on this window, but we would encourage schools to apply as soon as possible, as the last window was only open for 2 weeks. This application window is for those who have either already made an application for one of the quality assured courses or who intend to enrol on a course which starts before May the 31st, 2022. The funding is being released in rounds between now and 2025, by which point all schools should have been able to claim their funding. So whilst the funding is available on a first come, first served basis, every eligible setting will be able to get their funding before 2025. We are now in the second round of funding with a further round expected in summer 2022. You can sign up at the DfE website to receive notification for when the next window opens. Each round also has a waiting list, so if you are not offered the funding in any particular round, you will be offered a waiting list place. However, to our knowledge, every school that applied in round 1 was given the grant. Application is a two-stage process. Firstly, you fill in the initial application, which asks you to confirm your eligibility, i.e. that you are an eligible setting. Please do be aware that you will need your DfE login to access the application. Then, between February half term and Easter holidays, successful applicants will be allocated funding and asked to submit a second application where you will be asked to confirm which course you are enrolled on. You have around 2 weeks to get that form in, so you do need to be quick, otherwise your allocated funding may be passed on to someone else on the waiting list. So what we would suggest here is to make the stage 1 application, then spend some time deciding which course you will apply for. If you're successful at being allocated funding in this round, you will then have a 2-week window, we think, to put in a booking for the course and then submit evidence of this booking to the DfE using the second stage application form, after which the funds will be released to your school. It's really important to note that the funds will not be released unless you confirm which course you are booked onto, remembering that this must be a DfE eligible course and it must commence before May the 31st, 2022. So looking now at the training itself, as previously mentioned, there is a lot to choose from, and all of the courses have been quality assured by the DfE and the Carnegie Centre of Excellence for Mental Health in Schools, which is based at Leeds Beckett University. So because they're all quality assured, there's no particular course we would recommend, but we would recommend using the tool which Leeds Beckett University have created, which helps you to narrow down which training might be best suited to your needs. So the tool can be found on the Leeds Beckett website, and when you go there you will find a page like this. And the tool asks you a series of questions about the level of course you need, the areas you would like to cover, how you would like to access the course. So would you like to access it remotely, or would you like it to be face-to-face or a blended learning approach? What kind of setting you are, so primary school, alternative provision, secondary, etc. How much time you are able to dedicate to accessing the course, and also ask you to identify what cost bracket you'd like the course to fall into. It is worth noting at this point that some of the courses are offered by local authorities, but at the moment we don't have a course that we are running within West Sussex. So having looked at the courses available and the different funding options, it does appear that many of the courses which cover all 8 areas of the whole school approach to mental health do seem to fall in around the £800 mark, which would then leave around £400 of funding available for cover and resources. For some schools, however, you may feel that you don't necessarily need training in all 8 areas, and you may have identified priorities, in which case there will be lower cost options available when you complete the search. So when you've ticked all your choices in the tool and told them what your needs are, you will then be presented with a range of courses which fit your criteria. From there, you'll be able to follow the links to the individual training offers and look at really what is offered within that course and decide which one best fits your need. So the tool will have helped you to get down from the full offer of over 40 courses down to 10 or maybe even fewer, and in some cases even down to 1 or 2 courses which really suit your needs. So it's a massively time-saving device that we really recommend using this course finder tool. So when you're looking at the courses suggested, it may be worth just considering a few points. So for example, you might want to think about who is hosting the training. So it might suggest to you courses that are being hosted by local authority educational psychology departments, let's say in Worcestershire, for example. So that course may be very specific to the needs of Worcestershire, and you may find that also the majority of the other participants are from Worcestershire, which might not be the most helpful for a school in West Sussex. So just worth bearing that in mind. You may also want to consider things like what time of day the course is being offered, or if it's a self-access course that you can access at any time of day. And you also might want to just find out if other schools in the local area, just get in touch with your contacts, are doing the same training, because it might be quite nice if someone local is doing the same course of you, so that you can share your kind of experiences of the course and share some good practice. So I hope we've covered some of your questions and queries and you have found this helpful. As more information is released throughout the year, as more colleagues and schools access the different courses and we get feedback, and when we receive notice of the spring application window, we will release an updated version of this webinar. So thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.